Silas Maths.
The best place to learn mathematics.
Hello, welcome back to class. Okay, today we are going to consider the topic on the board, standard form. So the question is, what is standard form, or when do we say a number is actually expressed in standard form? A number can be said to be in standard form if that number is expressed in this form, in the form of let's say a times 10 raised to power n, where a is equal to real number, a equal to real number, that's any number of our choice, and n is equal to an integer. So n is equal to an integer, so we say that the number is in standard form. So how do we do that? So let's quickly jump into example. Let's say we have something like this example. So we have this question which reads, express 572 in standard form. So what are we going to be doing now? This is a whole number. So to do that, let's write the number out first. We have 572. So it's very simple to put this number in this form. What we are going to do is that we are going to move the point in this whole number. So every whole number has a decimal point that is at the end of that number. Okay, so if I have a number like this, let's say 200, there's an invisible point at the end of the number. If I have a number, let's say 534, there's an invisible point here. So to do that, we are going to move that invisible point in front of the first non-zero digit in this number. So the first non-zero digit in this number is 5. So if we want to count this number, we'll count this first. Then this is the second non-zero digit, and this is the third non-zero digit. So we're going to move that point, that invisible point, for this case, or in this case. So let's move the point together. So the point should be here, so let's move it. So moving it, we have 1 and 2. So the point will come in front of the first non-zero digit, which is 5. So at the end of the day, the new number becomes this, 5.72. Now, how many times did we move the number before we arrived in front of the first non-zero digit? That's 2 times. So it becomes times 10 raised to the power of 2. Now this is the 2. This 2 is as a result of moving this point backward. All right, moving the point backward. So anytime we're moving the point backward, we are going to have a positive index here. We're going to have a positive index. All right. So that is that for this one. Okay, so we move the point 1 and 2. So that's why we're having a positive index here. So 2 times. So whenever we're moving the point backward, like I said before, move it backward, the number of times become the number of the power, the n with the 10 we take. Okay, so let's take example 2. Let's say we have this. All right, so let's consider these problems on the board. So we say question reads, expressed in standard form, this, and this. So how do we do that? So applying what we just learned some seconds ago or minutes ago. So let's consider A. Remember, we're going to move the point, isn't it, in front of the first non-zero digit. So I have my 3765.3. So let's shift the point in front of the first non-zero digit here, which is 3. So let's move the point. We have 1, 2, and 3. So since we move the point 3 times, the number becomes 3.7653. Then times what? Times. How many times do we move the point? Move the point 3 times. So we're going to have 10 to the power of 3. That is that for this. So second one, B, I have 49.2. So we're going to move the point how many times? Once. So just once. So this becomes 4.92 times 10 to the power of 1. Or you can as well leave can as well not try this one. It's still the same thing because 10 is something as 10 to the power of 1. So that's that for this one. Then for the last one, I have this number 4.33. Now 4.33 is already the point is already in front of the first non-zero digit, so we're not going to move the point. So to justify that it is in this form, we can say that this number is the same thing as 4.33 times 10 raised to the power of 0, because we just moved the point 0 time, and this is equivalent to 1, or equal to 1 rather, because any number raised to the power of 0 is 1. Recall when we treated indices that the 0 power law states that a number or a variable to the power of 0 is equal to 1, which makes this whole expression equal to this one. Alright, so let's consider the one that will have the set of examples that will have a negative index or a negative power, right, for this side. So let's consider this example. Alright, so let's consider this set of examples. The question reads, express in standard form A, I have this number A, I have 0.056, and remember what we said, that for us to express this in standard form, we need to move the point in front of the first non-zero digit. So let's go ahead and move the point. Let's go from this place, we move 1 and 2, so in front of the first non-zero digit 2 times, so the new number becomes what? 5.6 times. Now the question is, what will the power of 10 be? Recall or remember what I said when I was explaining this, that when you move the point backward, the power of the 10 will become a positive number, but this time around we are moving the point forward. So my power of 10, instead of it to be 2 like we moved 2 times, is going to be -2, right? -2, that's a negative integer, right? So let's consider the second one here. I have this B, I have 0.66. So let's move the point once, right? Once in front of the first non-zero digit. So I'm going to have 6.6 times 10 to the power of -1. Why -1? Because I moved the point once forward. So the power will be what? Negative. Okay. Now the last one I have here, I have 0.0000941. So let's move the point together. So move the point 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4, so the new number becomes 9.4. 1 times 10 to the power of what? -4. So why am I having -4? We move the point how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. Before the point came in front of the first non-zero digit, so this becomes raised to the power of what? -4. So this is basically how we express our numbers from ordinary form to what? Standard form. Yes. So in our next video or in our next class, we are going to consider expressing standard form to what? Ordinary form. So we're going to call it a pause here. If you have any question, please do well to drop it at the comment section, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do well to give the channel a subscription, and then turn on your notification bell as well. So we're going to call it a pause for now. Bye for now. See you in our next class.